Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a couple of really exciting videos. So yes, I have been keeping a little bit of a secret the past couple of months. I actually got the chance to build 3 lots for the Sims 4 Horse Ranch expansion pack. Now this video isn't sponsored at all. I wasn't paid to make this video or any videos about this pack, but I was paid to make the builds that I did for the pack. So yeah, so I'm not sure in which order I'm posting these videos in because like I said, I did get the chance to build 3 different lots. I built a starter home, a dance hall, as well as a residential home for one of the pre-existing families. Now, I have no idea in which order I'm posting these videos in, so yeah, I haven't decided that yet. But with all of that said, let's go ahead and jump on into the speed build and talk a little bit more about this whole process and the build itself. Hey everyone, so here we are with the community lot build that I did. As you guys know, I got the chance to build 3 lots for the new pack, and I actually built 2 residential lots and a community lot. This is the community lot. This was probably the build that I was kind of skeptical about at first. Like, I was skeptical about the fact, thinking, would I be able to do it? Like, I don't build community lots all that often, so I was really kind of like thinking, I want to push myself with this one. I really want to do it and I want to do a good job with it, but I wasn't sure if I would be able to. But at the end of the day, this lot is probably the one that I am the most proud of. Now, that is, I'm saying that obviously as someone who is obviously very biased towards it because, yeah, I built it. It was an incredible experience. But at the end of the day, this lot is a lot that I can see myself using so much when I play. And I don't know, I put a lot of myself into this build. I put a lot of myself into all of these builds, obviously. But this one, I really took inspiration for it from real life, from things that I've been to, places that I've seen. And not necessarily for the style of it, because this build is very much converted barn, very country style build. But I tried to take inspiration from real life for the vibe of the place. I had an idea in my head for what I wanted the vibe of this lot to be, which I really hope it comes across in the end. But yeah, so you guys will see me fiddling around with this build a lot. I cut a lot of it out. I did edit this video quite a while ago, so I have no idea really about what I left in and what I ended up cutting out of the footage in the end because, yeah, I have a memory like a goldfish. I have ADHD. The memory part of it is just like not there, so I don't really remember what I edited out of this video and what I didn't. But moving on from that, this entire process of building for this pack has been one of the most amazing ones ever. Like, it has been probably one of the highlights of my content creator career, like, ever. It was such an amazing experience, not only getting to work like with some incredible creators. By the way, obviously I wasn't the only one that built for this pack. Simproved, Ninster, and Dr. Ashley also did 3 each. Like, each of them did 3 incredible builds for this pack, which I will leave their channels linked below. I believe like Simprove and Dr. Ashley have YouTube channels, but Ninster only streams on Twitch, and she also posts on Twitter. So I will leave all of their links down below. Definitely go ahead, check them out if you haven't already. But yeah, so obviously a lot of the fun was getting to work with such amazing creators. And like, it was really fun, I'm not gonna lie. It was so much fun getting to know those 3 a little bit better, and all of the like fun that we had together, all of the chats, all of like, it was a lot of fun, this whole process. But also getting to work with the Sims team themselves and seeing firsthand how passionate they are about the game, and like how they like really care about the game, and they do like understand a lot of the stuff that we as players talk to them about. So yeah, that was such an incredible experience, like seeing firsthand, you know, what goes into making these packs, and finding out some behind the scenes things about, you know, there's a reason why we weren't allowed to use cheats for these builds. So I don't think I've mentioned it in this video yet, but we weren't allowed to use any cheats for these builds. So no move objects, no alt placement, like I couldn't hold down alt to freely rotate items or freely place items like I usually would. We couldn't do that. We couldn't use debug or live edit or anything like that. So for a build, not too much for this one, but especially for something like the starter home that I did, the no using debug or live edit really hit me hard, because usually if I do starters, I would use debug and live edit to do the landscaping, to make sure that I can make the build fit into the surroundings, where with that build I couldn't. So yeah, I don't know which order you guys are going to be seeing these videos in, because obviously I did this build, I did the starter home, and then I did another home for a pre-existing family. So I don't know what order you're seeing these in. I will obviously leave a link below to the playlist that I have set up, where I will have all of these builds in that playlist, and all of my other like horse ranch videos, all of my other early access videos, everything like that will be in that playlist. But yeah, so I have no idea what order you're seeing them in, but I know I already mentioned it in this like starter video. Like I said, don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but not using debug for stuff like that, and the landscaping especially, we don't really have items in the game normally that matches the style of landscaping in this world. And a lot of the plants are similar, a lot of the trees are similar that we already have in the base game, but the colors are off. So at the end of the day, the Sims team actually went in and they gave us a couple of trees and a couple of like bushes and grasses and stuff that actually matches the world, that I could use for the starter home and for all of my other builds as well. So that was really, really amazing, and it actually allowed me to do landscaping that did fit in a little bit better with the surrounding area, which was great and such an incredible help, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that is something that was really, really awesome. But for this lot in particular, getting back to this specific build, I wanted the place to have a very, like, I don't want to say family friendly, because it is a nightclub in the game. It is classed as a nightclub, but it's supposed to be a dance hall. It's supposed to be a country gathering dance hall kind of space. So like, I wanted it to be not super stuffy, not super like nightlife vibes, if that makes sense. I didn't want it to be like a nightclub that you would have in Windenburg, for example. I didn't want it to be something like that, where you have like black lights and LEDs and all of that stuff. It's not the vibe that I was going for. I wanted it to be a lot more rustic, a lot more country, something that you could picture being in like a Hannah Montana movie from Disney Channel from like years ago. So that is kind of the vibe that I wanted to go for. And also with the family vibe is, in my head, I was taking inspiration from places around where I am, where you have dance places where they're open all day, and during the day you would actually go there. You would obviously go there for drinks. They do have a bar, all of that stuff. You would go there for drinks, but then they also have a lot of outdoor space and a lot of like just hangout space, basically, where they have grills and like space for kids to play, and you know, just general gathering space. So you could go there during the day with your family, with, you know, friends, all of that stuff, and you could just have a day there. You could have a day somewhere where you can hang out, the kids can play, there's a lot of open space, there's grills, there's all of that stuff. And then at night they would start up the like dance space. So at night they would have like a DJ, or they would have, you know, music playing, and there would be like a huge dance floor for people to go into on the inside of the building. And that would be a little bit more of like a, you know, 18 plus. Over here we have like 18 plus. I know in the US, if you want to go into places, it's like 21, but over here it's 18. But like at night it would be like an 18 plus thing where they would serve, you know, obviously they would serve drinks and all of that stuff, but you would have the more like traditional nightclub bar kind of vibe, whereas in the day it would be a little bit more like, you know, yes, there's drinks and all of that stuff, but it's also family stuff, more outdoor space, more outdoor things that you would do. So that's kind of what I was taking inspiration from originally. Now, you will notice that I do put down a couple of child or toddler or kid items. That does go away in the end. Mostly only because with this only being base game and the new Horse Ranch expansion, we don't really have a lot type that would fit that kind of vibe, where there would be kids coming here with, you know, with other sims or on their own. Obviously, I needed to class this as a nightclub, so that didn't really make sense in the context of the game. So at the end of the day, I do change that, but that was my original idea for this lot. Now, you could go in, you could change the lot type, you could maybe make it a park, or I don't know, some other lot where there would be children spawning on the lot. But yeah, I didn't do it, I couldn't do it. That was not within the parameters, I guess you could say, of what I was working with. But I really like the way it turned out still. I mean, it still has that very, like, rustic, down-to-earth, not super formal or fancy vibe that I was going for originally. So I still really like the way it turned out, and I hope you guys do too. If you like this build, definitely let me know. And yeah, if you ever play in this, let me know as well. Send me pictures on Twitter or Threads or in our Discord or whatever. But yeah, you will see that I do change up things quite a bit. Now, the reason that I changed up a lot of it, like, as much as I did, I mean, this build, out of all three of the ones that I did, this one was probably the one that I had to change up the least. So the way that this whole process basically works is you get a version of the game. And that version of the game, like I said, only base game and the new pack. But the new pack isn't finished yet. So a lot of the items at the beginning, I didn't have a lot of the items. I mean, at this point, I still don't have some of the items, like the big bar back that we have. I still don't have some clutter items that I end up putting in at the end and all of that stuff. So basically, you get this version of the game that has some of the items in it, but a lot of it still isn't there. The world isn't done. The, like, items isn't done. Some of the colors aren't done, like thumbnails, all of that kind of stuff. The whole thing is still a work in progress. So basically, you would go in, you'd start your build, you'd figure out, you know, maybe like, this is the shape I want to go for, this is the layout, this is kind of where I want to place items. But you don't really decide on final colors or final items or anything like that. And, you know, you figure out, like, the basics, the bare bones. Then you send it off to the team. They review it. They give you feedback. And based on their feedback, you know, they might tell you, oh, you know, this item here really doesn't make sense. Or, you know, in the case of this lot, you know, having all of the kids' items doesn't make sense because kids won't spawn on the lot. So there's no reason for those items to be there. Or, you know, oh, the bathrooms are a little bit weirdly shaped with them being like two different sizes. There's no real reason for that. So maybe change up the bathroom layout a little bit. And then I would go back in, I would make those changes, I would change up other things, I would, you know, maybe figure out some more finer details. I'd send it off again for another review. And that goes on for, like, I think it was 3 or 4 different times where we'd send them off, get feedback, change stuff, you know, do it all over again. So a lot of the footage, not so much with this one actually came together really quickly. There were a couple of things that I changed, like, after the first or second feedback sessions, but after that it was more just a case of finalizing, like, color swatches and, you know, making sure that I have everything where I wanted it, and then just waiting for, you know, items to come in that I could replace, you know, my placeholder items with. So yeah, this build was a little bit easier in that sense, whereas my other builds, the residential ones, went through a lot of changes. those builds were definitely a lot different, and they went through a lot more changes. But that's why in those builds and a few places in this one, you'll notice that I do something and then there's a cut, and then I come back and it's either already different or I'm changing it completely. And that's why I do that. It's because, you know, I was doing it as I was getting feedback from the team. And that was actually really, really cool. That whole process was really, really awesome. Getting their perspective as developers rather than just players, rather than as content creators or, you know, something like that. Getting their perspective as developers, as people who know a lot of the behind the scenes mechanics of the game as well, like routing especially, and having all of these things that you have to think about of like, oh, you know, playtesting it with 1 or 2 sims is great, but what happens if you have 10 sims in the same room, or 15 sims in the same room, or, you know, you have sims that want to do all of these different activities and you have all of the activities in one corner of a build, then they're all going to gather in that one corner. So trying to do stuff like that, trying to figure out, you know, layout and making, you know, different spaces feel unique but still, you know, part of the whole build. And I don't know, it was a very fun process, and I actually absolutely loved it. It was such an amazing thing to get to be a part of. Now, you will also notice me later on, I go in and I do something that we haven't been able to do before, that you guys have probably like spotted in the trailers that have come out and all of that stuff. But we can now paint ceilings. We can now paint ceilings in our builds, and we can paint ceilings with any of the floor tiles that we have in the game. So you can put carpet on your Sims' ceilings if you want to. You could put bathroom tile up there, or stone, or linoleum if you wanted to. So yeah, you can put anything on the ceilings. In this pack they do give us a couple of like, not items, but like a couple of assets, like a couple of textures that look like they're meant to be a ceiling texture, that they look like wooden beams. So I do use those wooden beams in a few of my builds. But yeah, that is really, really awesome. I had so much fun with that. That was just like being able to take screenshots and stuff and look up and not have to see like that stark white ceiling when you have all of this rustic wood around the rest of the build. Being able to match the ceiling to that rustic vibe was such an amazing thing. I mean, it seems like such a small thing, but if you're a builder, or even if you're a storyteller and you take a lot of screenshots, then having those stark white ceilings can be an absolute pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. So being able to paint them now is absolutely amazing, and I'm so happy about that. But yeah, we're going around now doing some landscaping. I do change up the landscaping quite a bit, like I mentioned earlier, because right now I'm still using mostly just base game stuff. And I do go in later on and I need to take out some of the landscaping for performance and, you know, to bring down the item count. I replace some of them with new items that we're getting in the pack to make them fit, to make the landscaping fit in with the rest of the world a little bit better. But yeah, I really like the way it turned out. I end up getting rid of that monkey bars that I have over there, and I put down a wedding arch actually, because I figured, you know, there isn't really any space in this world where your Sims could go to have a wedding, unless they want to do it, unless you want to go and build like a wedding lot or have space in your backyard or whatever. So I wanted to put down a wedding arch, just so that, you know, if you wanted your Sims to have a wedding here, I mean, there's no kitchen for them to make a cake or anything, but there's a lot of gathering space. There's already a dance floor, there's a grill if you want to make food, there's a lot of seating, and there's already a bar and bathrooms and everything. So I figured, you know, why not place down a cute little wedding arch so that your Sims can have like a cute little rustic outdoor wedding if you really wanted to do that. You know, maybe a small outdoor wedding with their closest friends and family could be great. So yeah, I figured I would do that. And then we have a couple of picnic benches outside, the little fire pit area. And then obviously we have on the side of the build, we have that outdoor dining, you know, patio space. So yeah, my idea for this build was basically that, you know, this old barn was standing here for ages and decades and was really old and falling apart. And the neighborhood kind of came together and they like worked together to restore it and renovate it a little bit and turn it into something really cool that they could all like have fun and gather and hang out in. So yeah, it's meant to look a little bit more like, you know, those bits on the side, maybe they've gotten some new roofing, so that's why they have the corrugated metal roofing, or maybe they've been added to the original barn. Maybe just the middle part was like the original barn and they added both side pieces to make space for the bar and the bathrooms and like the patio area. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed how this turned out. I do want to apologize though if you hear that my voice my voice is kind of starting to give out on me. I've recorded like 3 or 4 voiceovers today so far, so I've been recording a lot, and I'm also sick at the point that I'm recording this. I'm actually sick. I have a cold, so if I sound a little bit congested or if I sound a little bit hoarse or anything like that, like I've swallowed a frog, then I do apologize. That's kind of just what I'm dealing with in real life at the moment. So yeah, apologies for that. But moving on, so we're still working on the interior. I'm still swapping out items, trying to figure out, you know, what I want where. I did want to have a little bit of a seating space, so I have these, like this couch over here, like bench technically. I have a little bench and then I have a chair. I think I have 2 of those big chairs, those armchairs in the end. So I have some armchairs and just a little sofa, so we have, or like bench. So your Sims can have a little seat together, maybe talk, a little bit more informal than sitting around a table. Then I also have a couple of dining tables, obviously, both inside and outside. I currently have that placeholder one from the base game, the big round one from the base game, that I do end up swapping out for the new round table that we get in the pack a little bit later on. I also included a standing piano as well, because I figured, you know, maybe, again, channeling that like Hannah Montana vibe of maybe someone is actually playing the piano, like a nice country tune on the piano that the Sims are dancing to. So yeah, we have that. And also my dog just barked, and I am recording with my door a little bit open so that my cat can come in and out. So if you hear barking, I do apologize. It's the middle of the day. He's very loud usually. So yeah, sorry for that. But yeah, so right now we're still going in, trying to figure out swatches especially. And I still don't have all of the items that I'm kind of like waiting for. A lot of the decorative items like barrels of wine or nectar, I guess you could say, and like storage crates filled with nectar and stuff like that, like decorative items, came in like really late into this whole process. So for a lot of my builds, I have like placeholder items, like really random placeholder items just placed around the place, and you might be looking at them and thinking, you know, what is that thing doing there? Like, why it doesn't match anything? And that's probably because it's not meant to be that. It's meant to be something else, and I just put it down there so that I can remember that, hey, I wanted to put something else there. So yeah, later on I do go in, replace some of those placeholder items with actual decorative items. Like I said, I replaced that big round table with the new one that we're getting in the pack, which I absolutely love. I also have this archway that I totally forgot to mention. I do have this archway out in front of the build right now. It's technically a ranch arch that you would have, you know, to the entrance to your Sims' ranch. You can actually click on it and then name your ranch as well, which is a really cool feature. But I don't remember if I ended up keeping it. I might have kept it, and it might have been deleted in the end by the Sims team. But I honestly, like I said, I built this months ago, and I also edited it a couple of weeks ago. So I can't remember if I deleted it or if the Sims team deleted it, because I can't remember what the build looks like in the finished pack. at this point, which sound really bad. You'd think that I would have a better grasp of how my builds actually look in the finished pack, but to be fair, I kind of wanted to keep it as a surprise for myself. So even though I have played with the pack again after I did this, I had early access to it, I didn't really actually go into my builds and have a look around them because I wanted to keep it a surprise. So yeah, the tour that you guys are going to be seeing at the end of this video though was again recorded months ago, just after I had actually finished building them. So I finished building them and then I did the tour and I kind of showed you guys around them, like around the builds, how I would have wanted them to be. Like that's how I handed them off to the Sims team. But obviously since, you know, after that they've added a few more items, they've had to do like final tests on the builds, like performance tests and all of that stuff. So some of the items, some of the things like placement and stuff like that for some of my builds did change. Some items did move around, some of them are gone, you know, some things have been added in the final version. But yeah, I won't be showing you guys that in this video because yeah, I can't do that at the moment, and that only means that you guys can go in yourself and have a look around and figure out what's different. So yeah, if you guys play in this build, like I said earlier, definitely let me know. I would love to see like screenshots of you guys playing in this, or videos or whatever. If you post your stuff anywhere, definitely go ahead, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts about this build. Let me know what you think about it as well. And yeah, if you're excited for this pack. But with all of that said, we're gonna be doing a little bit of more like terrain painting at the moment, figuring out the final few touches. Some landscaping is like the last thing that I do, and like replacing all of those items that I mentioned earlier. And yeah, I did get rid of the sign. I did get rid of that big sign because there's actually a sign similar to that in the world that kind of leads into the area where this lot is, so it didn't make sense having two of them. But yeah, with all of that said, I'm gonna go ahead in this voiceover part right here. I'm gonna hand you back to past Chrissie so that she can do a tour for this build and all of that stuff, and then I will see you guys again after that for the outro. So yeah, it's a very convoluted video, but yeah, let's go ahead, jump into the tour, shall we? Hi everyone, so yes, past Chrissie here. As you can see, this video is it has been in like the making for quite a few months. I'm actually recording this at like beginning of April-ish. So yeah, it's been quite a few months. It's been quite a few months since, you know, I've recorded this and before you guys are seeing it. But as you could see, I did get the chance to build 3 of the lots for the new Sims 4 expansion pack, and it is honestly such an amazing thing. So I'm gonna go ahead, jump into game, and show you guys one of the builds, the build that you just saw the speed build for. Now, I obviously don't know what I talked about in that speed build because I haven't done it yet. I haven't done the voiceover yet. I haven't edited it yet before, you know, at the time I'm recording this. So it's gonna be a whole thing. This is a very different video from the ones I'm used to making. But yeah, so we're here in the new world. We're in the little like town area, as you can see. So yeah, this is the town area. This is where all of the community lots, you know, stuff like that are going to be. And I'm building on this lot right over here, or I built on this lot over here, I should say. I'm done with it. But yeah, this is the dance hall. This is the little barn that's been turned into a dance hall for your Sims to come and chill at, you know, after a hard day at the equestrian center, you know, training horses, competing, stuff like that. And the story for this lot is that it used to be a really old barn that was, you know, kind of like falling apart. And the community actually came together and they renovated it. They fixed it up and they turned it into a dance hall for everyone to come and enjoy. So in the game, it's actually set as a nightclub just because it's the base game, you know, it's the base game lot type that kind of just made the most sense for this lot because the world already is going to have a bar in it already. So this, you know, having this as a nightclub just made a little bit more sense. Or I think it's going to have a lounge. I can't remember if it's a bar or a lounge. But either way, you know, having it as a nightclub is just what makes sense. And this is the build that I handed off to EA. This is how it looked when I handed it off to EA. And obviously, I don't know if they're going to have to, you know, change anything about it. Maybe some things are going to be a little bit different in the final version that you guys are going to see in your games. But this is the build, you know, as I handed it off, I guess you could say. So this is how I pictured it would look. Now, obviously, like I probably mentioned in the voiceover, I was working with a ton of restrictions, you know, no move objects, no alt placement, you know, all of that regular stuff that you've probably seen a lot of other game changers talk about when they're doing, you know, these like official builds, I guess you could say, for packs. And obviously, none of what you're seeing on the screen is like final, like I said. But yeah, so this is kind of what I came up with. So as you walk up to the barn or to the dance hall, you at the front have a little sign, a little chalk sign for the dance hall. We have maybe, you know, that tells you like maybe like the specials for the day or something. And we have a little fire pit. You also have a little wedding arch as well, because your Sims can actually hold weddings. They can schedule weddings to happen on nightclubs and bar lots and stuff like that. So I figured, you know, I'll make it easy for you. I'll put down a little wedding arch, you know, you're good to go on that front. And then on the outside, we actually also have a little outdoors area, like undercover outdoors area. But I figured, you know, because the community actually came and renovated this barn, they actually have, you know, maybe these two sides of it are a little bit newer than the rest of it. So maybe this side, they just replaced the roof. But on this side, maybe this is something new that they've actually added, you know, having added, you know, all of like the outdoor undercover area. But yeah, when you come up to it, you go through these big open archway doors, barn doors, and you come in, you have a little table off to that corner, and in this corner you have a standing piano, a very, very gorgeous, you know, open glass standing rustic piano. It's so pretty. So pretty. And yeah, so we have that over there. So maybe if your Sims are really into country music, they can, you know, play for other Sims, and maybe they can dance to like some fun country piano music or something. But yeah, so we have that. We obviously have a little dance floor right in the middle, so there's plenty of space. Over in the back, we have those really big windows that you could see from the outside. But we have just another little table, a little bit of a casual seating area. And then in this little bump out, we actually have the bar. So we have a brand new bar. We obviously have some new bar stools. We have this gorgeous bar back, I guess you could call it. I think that's the name for it. But yeah, like the gorgeous bar back thing, that's absolutely stunning. So in the speed build, you will have probably seen me use like a bunch of like placeholder shelves here, because like right until the very end, because during the process of this, we actually didn't have access to all of the new items. So we saw concept art and stuff for the new items, you know, we kind of knew what they were going to add, but it wasn't all in the game yet by, you know, the time that we were building it. So we actually had to use placeholder items for a lot of stuff, and then, you know, replace them as we got the items, or, you know, stuff like that. So it's really funny, but for the majority of the speed build, this actually didn't even exist yet in the game. So yeah, I'm really glad it's finally in and I can show it to you guys. But yeah, to the side of that, we just have a couple of bathrooms as well. So we have just, you know, two bog standard bathrooms, you know, nothing super exciting about a bathroom. And then to this side, we actually have that little like outdoors area. So you can access it through this gate as well, or you can obviously, you know, go through the interior. But on this side, we just have a couple more dining tables and a grill, because even though this is technically a nightclub in the game, I figured that, and this is also what I talked to the team about, but like Sims wouldn't just be here at night. It wouldn't be a nightclub in the sense of, you know, the nightclubs in Windenburg, for example. Those are very much, you know, nightlife nightclubs. Whereas this one, it's a little bit more casual. It's a little bit more of a, like, you know, your Sims would hang out here over the weekends and they would come here for just a casual drink with friends, or, you know, maybe some sort of, you know, a little bit of like maybe a birthday party, you know, over the weekend. You can come here, grill some food, dance, you know, stuff like that. So it's a little bit more casual in that sense. So having some outdoor stuff to do during the day, like I said, just it made sense to me. So yeah, we have that. And then the final bit is you actually can go up that little ladder over there and you can access this top portion of the build. Now, you'll have seen me mess around with this a lot in the speed build because I had to change it up quite a bit and I kind of couldn't exactly do what I was originally planning on doing because of the restrictions, like move objects and stuff. But I really like the way it turned out, so I really wanted the upstairs of this barn to have those very common, like, I guess, like, not walkways, but I catwalk kind of things, so you can actually store stuff up there and it has a purpose. It's not just open space. So I wanted it to look like, you know, they have some things that they have stored up here that maybe they don't use a lot, or, you know, stuff like that. And I also really like the idea of your Sims standing here and being able to look down into the dance floor, or maybe being able to look, you know, out those windows, or, you know, onto the entryway, stuff like that. So just for a little bit of like realism, because in real life that would be really cool to do in a lot like this. So yeah, up here we just have those like storage bits, like just clutter. And then I also put down a bench so that, you know, if your Sims want to have a little bit of alone time with their significant other, or like, you know, just get away from all of the people, if they're like a loner or something, then they can come up here and just, you know, get away from all of the noise and all of the other people and stuff like that for a bit. So yeah, that is basically this whole lot, you guys. I mean, I'm freaking out over the fact that 3 of my builds are actually going to be in the game, like officially in the game. It is actually such a surreal feeling, and I cannot explain to you how excited this whole thing is making me and how excited I am to finally share this with you guys. Now, obviously, I'm recording this, like I said, months before you're actually seeing it. So, future Chrissie, I'm just gonna give it back to her so she can do a little bit of an outro. Okay, so that was the dance hall that I got to build for the Horse Ranch expansion, which was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was very rambly, but like I said in the voiceover, I am sick, so I'm a little bit loopy as well, and my voice at the moment is actually about to give out on me, which is not good because I still have a lot of recording to do. But anyway, I digress. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more videos, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload another video. And also, again, I just want to say a huge thank you to EA and the Creator Program, or the Creator Network, for giving me the opportunity to do this and allowing me to be a part of this. I really do appreciate it. It was an amazing experience. I hope you guys like the builds that I did. I hope you like the pack. If you play in any of my builds and you want to tag me in pictures, feel free to do that over on Twitter. My Twitter, link and all of that stuff is always in the description. I'm also on Threads if you want to go ahead, tag me on there in any of your posts, or if you want to join our Discord, it's completely free. Feel free to do that. Link is always in video descriptions. And in the Discord, you can like share your pictures with me, you can talk with me, hang out with our community, all of that stuff. So yeah, hope to see you guys over there as well. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you're having a great day. And I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.